Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? I hope y'all are doing well. If I get a text, I might have to just jump over and answer it real quick. My dad had a little episode where he was choking on a steak. I'm out of town. And anyway, they had to give him some CPR and stuff. So we're just making sure he's okay. He's breathing on his own. But anyway, so that's the situation. So sorry if I have to answer this stuff real quick, but y'all know what's going on. Anyway, but yeah, I've been saying hi to everybody in here tonight. We've got Lynn Holt, Rich B, Trigger Bar, Ranger 10. Hope y'all are all doing well. And I guess you heard about the new HK. I'm not. I figured it would be quite a bit more gun than what it came out to be, but to me, it looks like a Taurus G3. And 12 rounds, I was thinking it would have more capacity. I mean, I know HK guys will buy it, I'm sure, but I wasn't super impressed with it. Anyway, so that's what I've got. That's my thoughts on it because I figured more people would ask, but I didn't think it. I was hoping for a little more than that. So, hello, Indy Irish. How are you? Hope you're doing well. My fellow citizens of Gun Nation, yes. Anyway, Ranger 10 says never owned an HK. I've had 2 or 3 HKs. I had the 45, USP 45, I guess that's what it's called. The BP9. And I had another hammer gun. What was it? It was way back when. I can't remember the name or what it was. Was it a 9? USP 9, maybe? Hell, I can't remember. It's been so damn long ago. Hello, Floridian. How are you? Hope you're doing well with the storm stuff. I hope it didn't get you too bad. Yeah, I guess KS has been tied up for a while. Maybe at the gun shop or working or whatever. He's got going on. I haven't. We've chatted a couple of times back and forth, but I haven't checked on him. Yes, Ranger 10. It was. That was a complete flop. I haven't seen the whole entire thing. I've just seen the snippets. But yeah, it was a train wreck. I had no doubt it wouldn't be. So, sorry for a second. I'm just going to mute this, but still watch it. Let's see here. The HK looks like they let the U.S. engineers design it instead of the Germans. Too bad. Yeah, and, I was joking around with some guys, and, even Humble said this. It honestly, to me, it looked like they just copied Taurus's homework. I mean, it literally, if you look at the picture of it, it literally looks like the Taurus G3. I mean, now you can see some slight HK lines in it, but if you just look at it really quickly, it looks like the Taurus G3. Let's see here. Early voting opened today in Tennessee. I voted there. Now I can ignore all the propaganda. Yeah, I will be doing that Monday. So ours opens Monday. So I'm going to go and get that done Monday. She never answered a single question, just deflected, but that's all she can do. Yep. And blame it on we know who. I don't want to say the word because it'll get I'll get axed. Hello, USN Vet. How are you? Dirt Track. How are you? Yep, I saw that. Yeah, I think that's exactly when I saw that. I was thinking the same thing. Hello, Dennis Buckner. How are you? Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that HK. I was expecting quite a bit more. Probably a silly question, but what is the eyelet or whatever it is at the bottom of the grip on the Nocturn purpose? It's called a lanyard. In the Czech Republic and other countries, they run a cable on their belt that goes to the gun. So if they drop it, they can retrieve it. It was kind of, I think it was originally invented for paratroopers when they jump out of airplanes, so their gun completely wouldn't just fall out and go away. It's kind of like a lanyard or a retrieval or a leash, so to say, for your pistol. So when you draw it, it kind of coils, and they can go out and present. And then when they put it back in, it's kind of like a little coil, kind of like a little coil string. It's called a lanyard. It's a lanyard loop, so to say. But it came on my P09. I think it came on my P07, and you can just pull the plug out. You can just literally pull it out and then grind it off, or you can get a plug where it doesn't have the lanyard and you can put it in there physically, and then do it that way if you choose to. But I think I just ground mine off. I can't remember. I don't have the lanyards on them anymore, so I'm assuming I ground them off. And even on my Glock 19X, it came with it as well, and I just ground it off. But anyway, let's see here. Yeah, a lot of guns, they came on some 1911s way back in the day. They come on a lot of imports, import pistols, of course, like, CZ, they're made in the Czech Republic. So I've had them on a lot of pistols, CZs in the past. Hello, Chris from the 740. How are you? Pistol Pete, I think one of my PO7s came with a lanyard, and one of my PO7s came without it. Sorry, I've got sinuses or allergies acting up. Yeah, I think one PO7 came without it, and one PO7 came with it, and maybe one PO9 came with it, and one PO9 didn't come with it, I believe. I think that's what it was. But I ground the ones that had it, I ground them off. Hello, Scott. How are you? Yeah, I'm in good old Austin, Texas this week. So, and yeah, we had a pretty crazy little cool front this morning, or kind of most of the day. I think it was like in the 70s. It was like really cool this morning. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. What's up, Norwood? How are you? Pistol Pete says, I'm carrying my PO7 a lot now. They're great guns. And I think the PO9 Nocturn, as long as you prove it out, I think it's going to be a good gun too. And, even to bring it up, because I saw this and I was kind of wondering this, I know Honest had some problems with ejection and things like that. But I think the screws where you mount the little Nocturn, or where you mount your dot, I think the screws that people were putting in them were too long, and it was going down and hitting the extractor on the right side of the gun. That's what I think. And a couple of people kind of re-verified that, because I know they had some issues way back with the Glock. Gosh, what's the name of that guy's channel? Not Savorsky, that's a Crystal. Swearingen or something like that. I can't remember, but anyway, he did it with his PO9 Nocturn. He put a longer screw in it. His has been working flawlessly, but he put a longer screw in it, and then it started messing up. And he changed the screw out, put the short screw back in it, and then it worked perfectly. So I think that's all it was. $31 in Indiana this morning. Yeah, light frost as well. And I have heard of people having frost in hell. It's even snowing in some areas. Damn, 38. Suarez. Yeah, Samsonite. Yeah, Suarez International. But yeah, he did the test where he put the longer screw in it, and it did start messing up. So I'm wondering if Honest, maybe had a longer screw in it, and that was causing some issues. Because sometimes when people just get those little bag of screws, they just stick the one in there that screws in, and they don't think about the depth. Because on the Staccato, if you put too long of a screw in there, it can cause an issue. Glock, it can cause an issue if you have it milled. And they mill the threads are deep. So, I mean, I think that's all it was. because I haven't heard of any people that have put the correct screws in there having issues with it since. So, oh, New Hampshire, wow. Yeah, they're without the plate, but you still have to use the screws to screw the optic in there. And if you use a longer screw, it'll go right down into the extractor and bind up the extractor. What are you most concentrating on buying these days? Ammo, mags, both of those. I don't need any guns, honestly. Just ammo. I mean, I've got a lot, but I don't ever think you can have enough. And I do shoot a lot. I mean, probably not like competitive, not like some of the competition shooters and stuff, but I do shoot a lot. So, because when I go to the range, it's like 300 rounds, sometimes like every week. It's getting up there now, so it's even more than it was. And I don't mind going through my ammo. But yeah, I mean, I would probably start looking for some ammo, dominant ammo like 5.56, 9mm, stuff like that. And if you can get some better deals now, go ahead and grab it. I've seen a couple of places even offer free shipping, so that's a plus. Because sometimes ammo is expensive to ship. If it's like boutique stuff that you need, and you could wait on it, I mean, choose what you want to do. I don't want anybody to go bankrupt and start hoarding buying, freaking out and loading up your credit cards when you don't need to. Buy a little bit, like every paycheck or something like that, just to have some extra on hand. And mags the same. I've seen some good mag deals on PMags and stuff like that. And for your pistols, for your dominant pistol, I recommend probably 10 mags for a dominant pistol that you're going to use. Like a Glock or something during SHTF or something where to pop off. But, kind of take it for what you will. Let's see here. Scott is saying, surprisingly, the new Smith & Wesson lever action has a very nice flat trigger in it. I haven't played with one of those yet. I haven't seen one in person. I'll check that out when I'm able to see one. Yeah, you can't ever have enough ammo. I agree with that. And even mags. I mean, if you shoot, like really, really shoot, you're eventually going to wear out mags. I've had so many people, when I talked about mags, they would actually send me messages or leave messages on videos and go, you don't need that many mags. You don't need that many mags. Only have 4 mags for each AR. And I'm like, okay, you do you, boo. But apparently you don't shoot enough because shit, mags do break. They do go bad. Springs fail. I'm not saying common. They don't just like blow apart instantly. But if you physically cycle them and not just load them, that doesn't cycle the spring. But if you cycle them, they're going to eventually get weaker and, wear out. Or if you drop your mags, they're eventually, you're going to get maybe some bent follower or bent lips and things like that. What holster do I use for my P07? I actually use an Armsman holster. He extended it out for me because of my comp for my P07, and I run the X300 on it. So that's what I've got on mine. Matter of fact, it's a newer holster. I've already carried it, and I do like it a lot. Let's see here. What do you think about the rifle rounds? Do you work those out? I'm not. Ask me again, Norwood. Sum that one up for me a little bit better. Hey, what's up, Brannick? How are you, buddy? Hello, Rodema. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. I'm just like you, Scott. I've got a bunch of them still in the package. I have a ton of them loaded, but I have a lot of them still in the package as well. Just kind of store them up, and they're sealed. Don't get dust, dirt, moisture, any of that kind of stuff on them. Not that it would hurt them, but there you go. Oh, here we go. Just got back from Bauer Precision and got all my last-minute pre-election suppressors ordered. They're saying I should get my tax stamp back in about 7 days. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I like Bowers. They have good stuff there. It's kind of funny. I've told people about Bowers, and they're like, "What the hell's that?" And then I say, "Oh, here's where it is," and shoot them the address. They go see it, and they're like, "Man, that place has got so much crap for a little bitty store." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, so much stuff. They don't have crap. They actually have pretty nice high end stuff, but it's kind of you would never think it would be there where it is." But received my first holster from Armsman. Great quality. Very happy. I will be ordering more from him. Yeah, he does good stuff. And anybody that's on here, if y'all want a code, I don't make any money on it, but it benefits y'all. Any Armsman holster, you can use my code. It's BJGG10, and that will save you 10% off. And he gives you free shipping for my subscribers. Do you shoot your rifle rounds? Yeah, I mean, I shoot rifles. That's what I'm assuming you're asking me. Dominantly 5.56, 300 blackout. Those are my most common. I have 308 also. Those are my three most common, and I do have a lot of those rounds stockpiled as well. I mean, I have 8mm, I have 270, I have a bunch of other rounds, but I don't have a dominant amount. I mean, an absorbent amount of those specific calibers. Steve Gregory is asking me the hard questions. Big J, if you could have one pistol and one rifle, what would it be? I would assume it would be, if you're going SHTF, I mean, that's when I get these questions, it's dominantly with SHTF kind of wrapped around it. Because if I could only have one pistol and one rifle, and that there's a lot of what ifs there, because if it came to living on the land, you would want a small game rifle, which I mean like a 22 where you could hunt rabbit and squirrels and stuff like that. But that's not what I would want to defend myself with as far as a rifle. But I will say this, I've got quite a collection of pistols, but in that kind of scenario, it would probably be the Glock 19X. I mean, I love all my other pistols, but if it's only one pistol that I can have, it'd probably be the Glock 19X, just because of the commonality of the mags and the parts that other people may have that I need. So that would be that. And then as far as a rifle, I would take, and this is going to be a weird one because it's not designed for hunting rabbits, but it would probably be my 12.5 308 because I can reach out a little bit, not extremely far, and probably not extremely accurate, but it'd probably be the 12.5 308. But if I've got to do up close stuff, that's definitely going to punch through car doors and barricades, things like that I might need it for. It's definitely lethal, but it's not going to be good for hunting small game. You don't want to hit a rabbit with it because you won't have any meat left. So that's where I would prefer to have a third option, and I would throw a 22 in there for something like that. Scott also threw a bunch of stickers on his holster order. That's cool. Yeah, and it usually gives you the Constitution or the Bill of Rights and all that other stuff in there too. That's pretty cool. Norwood says he just picked up the Smith & Wesson metal carry comp yesterday. What do you think about it? Are you liking it, Norwood? Just curious. I haven't spent any time with the one. I've just held one, kind of looked around at it. Hello, Rabbi. How are you? No, I was just talking about it earlier. I'm not impressed with it, Rabbi. Honestly, it looks like the Taurus G3 to me. I'm not hating on anybody that likes HK, but with 12 rounds, I was expecting quite a bit more. And I'm not saying 12 rounds is not enough. I'm not going there. And I know it's designed for concealed carry and things like that. But with all the other options that are out there now, I think they should have stepped up their game a little bit, because if you look at it really quickly, it looks like a Taurus G3 to me. Yeah, but he was putting me in that situation where it's only one pistol, and that's usually SHTF, and I've talked about that before. I think everybody should at least have one Glock for SHTF kind of situations. Yeah, exactly. They're the Honda Civic of the gun world. I mean, mine is not a stock, plain Jane Glock. I actually shoot it really good. Matter of fact, I have a video coming up with it where I'm comparing it against something else. So y'all might like that video, and you might not, but there you go. Hey, Arsenal, we were just talking about you. Your people were bragging on your holsters, and I gave out the code again in case anybody wants to use it to save some money. Let's see here. Yeah, haven't shot it yet, or my PO9F. I have a few others I have not shot yet. Yeah, I mean, people freak out like if you have a gun that you haven't shot. But sometimes when you buy 1 or 2 or 3 guns, you can't just run right out and shoot it. So I get that. Man, one time I had to go like a month without shooting one that I bought. And people thought I was crazy. Armsman is saying everyone should have a Glock 19X or a Glock 45 in his opinion. I mean, I would agree with that. Yeah, and I'm not saying that I'm like the biggest Glock fanboy. I mean, I'm not ever saying that Dirt Track says have one Glock to prove all other guns are better. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Glocks work. They're not my favorite in the world, but they work. So if you have to bug out, you won't be able to take all your firearms or all your ammo. That's why I've moved all my excess gear out to my plot of land. Yep, that's true. That's totally true. I've even talked about that before. People with multiple safes, full of stuff. I mean, and that's even made me think a little bit more. People are like, "Oh my God, you sell guns. You've gotten rid of some of your guns." As I've gotten older, I mean, trust me, I still have plenty. But as I've gotten older, I'm just like, the ones that I don't really, 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 truly enjoy and that I could go replace tomorrow, I am getting rid of them. And I still have plenty. But if I'm getting to the point before where I would just have them and keep them and they were there, but I'm starting to thin stuff out a little bit more. Because, just like what Rodimus said, if something happened, you can't take them all with you. Yep, that's what we were just talking about, Armsman. That's what that HK looks like. Definitely looks like that. Let me catch back up. The Glock 40. Yeah, 10 millimeter. Yeah, I mean, Pistol Pete, like I said, I think everybody should at least shoot a Glock. I'm not saying you're going to love it or anything like that. And I'm not trying to push Glock on anybody. Y'all know me. You buy what you want to buy and have what you want to have. I think, it makes sense. And the mags are cheaper. I mean, the way I buy mags, because even pistol mags. Let's see here. Scott says I only sell guns to buy better guns. Yeah, and I get it. And that's what I'm also doing. I don't want a bunch of, and I'm not trying to be mean or disrespectful or anything like that, but if it's just kind of like, and I mean, I have a lot of inexpensive guns, but if it's kind of like a throwaway gun, so to say, I mean, I don't need it. And I'm not trying to be, think I have to have all, high-end stuff, because I don't. But I'm just trying to kind of fit my collection around what I enjoy. And also, if something were to happen and somebody had to deal with all the, the safes and stuff full of crap or full of stuff, I want it to be stuff they would be proud to keep and things like that. Also, when I let my family go and shoot, I let them know, hey, this is one of my favorites. This is one you should definitely keep. Blah, 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 just to kind of give them a little history on it. I mean, I even have, you know, rifles of my grandfather's. I even have a rifle from my great grandfather, actually a couple of them. I have a lot of like old classic stuff that y'all have never seen before. Um, you know, and it's some of it's worth some money, and you can't replace it. So things like that, you know, yeah, I keep. Rhoda says, agree, Jay. If I have a non-collectible or bucket list gun and it just sits in the safe, I'll be selling. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with moving out some product to either get new product. And, you know, like when I got and I mean, I got rid of 3 guns to get the Shadow 2 compact because I really wanted it. And I didn't really want those other 3 guns. I didn't need them. So that's kind of what I did. Yep. Rabbi saying absolutely keep your favorites only, ditch everything else. And I mean, here's my point. I don't ditch everything else. You know, I want to make sure my family's taken care of, to have, you know, family and friends if anything were to happen. But yeah, if there's just stuff, I mean, I've dug through the safes before, and I mean, I even told Armsman this. You know, I was digging through the safe. I don't know, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago? I can't remember when we were talking to Armsman. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was digging through the safe and found a gun I thought I had sold like 2 years ago. Honestly, I'm not even being facetious. I was like, what the hell? I forgot that I even had that gun. And when you get to that point, and I don't have, you know, mental or memory loss, it's just when you have so much of these things, sometimes you honestly are just, and I've got them all serialized, I've got them on spreadsheets, I've got them digitized, all that kind of stuff. But I'm just meaning physically, you know, I really forgot that I had guns, and that's not the first time that's happened. So, I knew what you were meaning, Rodham. I knew what you were meaning. Big J doesn't want a pile of high points. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, Glocks. People are always going to want Glocks. That's kind of, you know, I don't know where they're going to go for the long haul. You know, if they're going to come out with anything new, or if they're just going to kind of, you know, keep making what they've been known for. I really don't know. But, you know, it's like I said, the parts are usually very inexpensive to get, and easy to get. He sold out Olight and Taurus, compromised Big J. No. The Yeet cannon. Yeah, a buddy of mine had, I think I've told this story before, he had a high point and he dropped it. And the whole, you know, they're made out of zinc. I don't know if y'all know that, but that's the metal that a lot of them are made out of, or the older ones were made out of. But he dropped it and it landed on the top of the slide. And it actually literally broke a whole chunk off of the slide. That's how bad it was. But the funny thing is, the crazy thing, the damn thing still worked. And it was missing, like, not just a little piece. This thing was like, I mean, it was a big old chunk. And you could just like look in the gun from the top, but it still worked. It's crazy. Oh, I didn't know that high points are made in Ohio. I guess I'd never paid attention. Yeah, you're exactly right, Robert. You're exactly right. In the end, we are just temporary caretakers of our possessions. You're exactly right. You won't find that one. No. I don't even have I don't have any HKs anymore. I don't have any HKs anymore at all. The CCP-10F and 45 ACP, I knew they were discontinued. Yes, they're discontinued. I haven't seen them anymore. Can you find them around? Probably on Gunbroker or something, I would think. You know, I probably shouldn't have said that word. It'd probably demonetized, but whatever. Yeah, they're still around, but they're pieces of shit. They are pieces of shit. Yeah, I mean, I still see them, all those multicolored, sparkly colors. Yeah, Keltec. I do own a Keltec. You know, I've got that CP33. It's actually a fun, toy. Um, it's kind of like the MP5 we have at home. Mine's kind of tricked out like that, and it is a lot of fun. Would I depend on it for, you know, it runs phenomenal. It runs phenomenal. I haven't downloaded the mags to check, but the very first round, it's like it has a problem picking it up. But what I wanted to do was deload it, so to say, or lower the count to see if it'll pick up the first one. Because I'm loading them to full capacity, of course. So I do need to do that test and see if it would pick up the first one, but it still kind of hangs up on the first one, only the first one. Yeah, I mean, the high points work. That's the crazy. They weigh, heavy as a boat anchor, but they work. Nothing says Florida man like a sky. Yeah. My Prada purse. Heck yeah, you gotta have a Prada purse. I just want to check, see if there's any update on him yet. I guess there's not. They said that he's doing okay, so. But apparently he was choking on a piece of steak, and they said that he turned blue, and they gave him CPR, and the ambulance came to pick him up. My wife's up there with my mom, and they said that he seems to be okay. And I asked my mom, I said, how long was he blue? And my mom, she was freaking out, but she said 5 minutes. And I'm like, holy shit, that's brain damage. But anyway, I said to ask him questions, see if he knows all of our names and all, the usual suspect stuff to test him. So I haven't heard anything negative right now. So I'm assuming all that's okay. And he was breathing on his own before the ambulance took him off. So. Yeah, the Fusion does look pretty good. I still like the Platypus better. I still like the look of the Platypus better. Not saying the Fusion now. I've only seen the Platypus in person. I haven't seen the Fusion in person yet, so I don't know on that. But just from picture-wise, I like the look of the Platypus better. Find them on the web. Yeah, but I don't know how bad it was. And see, that's the crazy thing. If I would have been there, I would have pulled him up out of his chair and given him the Heimlich, but because I can pick him up. I pick him up and set him in the bed. Not saying he's light. I mean, it's like lifting a heavy-ass bag of potatoes, but he doesn't weigh very much now. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, we're this is not a sympathy chat. I think everything's okay. If not, I would have just said, I would have packed up stuff and took my ass back home tonight. But yeah, I appreciate everybody. But as far as, what I think people should probably start loading up on, and this is, or having, is I would say batteries for your lights, your handheld flashlights, your mounted lights on your rifles and things. If you need batteries, I would get those. And have a good supply of them. I also have all the batteries for all of your dots, 2032s, the little, what are they? The 16, I don't remember the damn number. I've got them at home. Because when I buy them, I don't just buy onesies or twosies. I buy sheets of them. I think y'all, probably do as well if you're a big dot guy. So I've got tons of batteries for all my dots, and that's rifle optics and scope optics, of course, reticles. So I've got all the batteries for those. Magazines, ammo, things like that. If you need a bag, and I would highly recommend a sling. Please do not try to do something silly like run around your house or go outside and, don't go outside with a rifle without a sling. You don't want that taken away from you. So have a sling. They're not that expensive. Some of the nicer ones are, but I'm not saying you have to have this super Gucci sling to get, to have it, latched to your body some way, somehow. Also get good QD mounts. Don't get the China ones because they're shit. I would recommend Blue Force Gear, QD mounts, made in America QD mounts. I've had some of the Chinese ones in the past, and you snap them in there, the ball bearings shoot out, the springs break. They're pieces of shit, so do not depend on those for your bag gun or whatever you want to call it, your SHTF gun. I would do that. A bag, if you need to put your items in a bag, I'd get a good bag. That's what I would be kind of focusing on. Not necessarily buying more if you've got plenty of pistols and rifles. And I've got, and maybe y'all do too, I've got a bunch of strip lowers and stuff like that, brand new ones that I bought a long time ago. They're not the Gucci brands, but they work. Solar powers, generators, flashlights, yeah, stuff like that. Anything you think you might need. 1632. Yeah, I can't remember all the damn numbers. I've got so many freaking dots. Armsman said, I need the TLR1 HLX. Yeah, so far it's pretty cool. It is heavier than the regular TLR1. I said that in the video. It's definitely brighter. They have the same candela. It's weird. It's the same candela, but it's the different lumens. It's 1,000 versus 1,500. But it's way, way brighter. And I just did the test on the fence, but I've actually taken it across the back field. I climbed up on my fence and shot it across the back field. And it definitely, it reaches. It seems to reach farther. But it's also a different color light. So it's more of a white light versus the yellowish tone. I don't know how well y'all could see it in that video. But it seems like a really nice light. And it seems very heavy duty. I've already dropped it a couple of times, just chunked it up and threw it on the concrete in the back patio, just to see if it would flicker or do anything weird. And I had it turned on and I threw it up and down in the air and it landed and stayed on. I shook it and it didn't click off. Also in the video, you'll notice how I can shake it and you can hear a little bit of the battery. I turned it on, I shook it, I threw it down, picked it up, shook it, and it never flickered or anything. So I guess that's just the batteries moving around a little bit in there. That's the only thing I can think that it is, but it seems to be working pretty well so far. Yeah, I talked to him, gosh, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. And he was telling me, that something came up. I don't want to talk about his business. Something came up in his family and he was going through something. It's not with him. But anyway, and I was, asking if I could help him in any way. And he said that he's, going to try to get back to doing some content. So hopefully he will. I'll probably check on him again. It's been a while since I've talked to him. Yeah, I've got, like you're talking about that, I've got some cheap slings. Honestly, I don't like them. They're really cheesy, but I've got a bunch of good ones that I really like and a couple of brands that I really like. And I tend to kind of stay with what I like. Yeah, Jerry Johnson says he's got the Magpul sling. I've got one of those as well. I've got one Magpul sling, but I've got a bunch of Blue Force gear. I do like their slings. I've got an Edward Sherman sling as well. I don't have as much experience with it. Couple of those Blue Force, 1 or 2 or 3 of them are Larry Vickers. They got the pull straps on them. I've got Doughboy Tactical. I think I've got 3 of the Doughboy Tacticals. And what is cool about those is they can turn into a 1-piece or a 2-piece, and it's paracord. So, but it's got U.S. buckles. It's not any of the Chinese stuff, and they're a veteran-owned company. I don't, they didn't send me anything. I bought them. They're not cheap, but also you got a lot of paracord in there. So if you had to cut a section off to use as paracord, you could. That's one thing I like about them. They're not super light, but they've got a little bit of bungee added in them, so you can get some stretch, so you can have it tighter around where you need, and then when you stretch out, it'll kind of help you with the bungee to lock it. So it does help. But I do like their slings as well. And it is called Doughboy Tactical, if anybody's interested. I've got a red, white, and blue and black one. I've got kind of an FDE bronze one, and then I've got a black with a black, maybe it's just all black. No, it's got a little bit of gray in it. Rabbi. Yep, the white light. Pistol Beat says, I'm going to try carrying my PO7 appendix. Still don't really like AIWB. I mean, it takes a little bit to get used to. I just think it's the best for me personally. I have more control over it. I'm not banging it into stuff. And it's right in front, so it's kind of in my area. I don't have to reach back, or someone, if they were to try to knock me down, then they're pulling it out. I just feel I have more control over it. I'm faster with it on the draw. Not that I'm a speed demon, I'm not. But I mean, I like it there. That's where I carry and have for quite a while. But it is different. Unifor says, remember to hit that like button, everyone. Yes, hit that like button. I'm considering buying a friend's PSA G3 AR-10 thoughts. I mean, I love AR-10s. I don't know that much about the PSA G3 personally, so I don't want to talk out of my ass and just make up stuff. I don't do that. I just don't have a lot of experience with it personally. So, I mean, if it runs and it runs reliably, the first thing I would do is I would pull it apart. The basic pull down. I would take it apart. I would check the factory bolt that he's had in it to see how the bolt pattern's wearing. If it has even wear around it, or if it's got a hot spot on one side where it's actually grinding into it, that means it's not lined up properly internally. So if I ever buy anything used like that, those are the first things I check, because sometimes people will have a bolt that's worn and it's wearing irregular. That's what I'm talking about, major irregular wear. That's a dead giveaway when you look at the bolt, the factory bolt. And some people will pull the factory bolt out because it has that wear, and they'll put a new bolt in it, and then it hasn't been shot, and you can't tell where it's wearing. But that'll just check for alignment, things like that. But if it's running correctly for him and he's got some rounds through it, and it'll feed, or your ball and, your regular hunting rounds, things like that, you should be good to go. Plus, PSA has a lifetime warranty, and as far as I understand it, it's not for just the original owner. That is the way I understand it. Don't quote me on that, but that's the way I understand it. Barbed wire. No orange sling. I don't have an orange sling. I asked a company to make one for me. It was a custom deal, and they were like, oh yeah, we'll make it. We have the color, and they sent me pictures of the color and all that other stuff. And I was going to pay for it. And anyway, I shot them an email, and I was like, where do I make the payment? They said, let us make it first. We'll send you pictures of it, make sure you like it, all that stuff. And I never heard back from them. And I sent them another email and said, hey, just touching base with you. Never heard back, so I didn't mess with it anymore. Knocking me down. I was just meaning, like, if you've got the gun at the back and somebody can see it, or it's printing really badly, I was just meaning for anybody. No, I mean, I'm a big guy and everything, but you know, there's way bigger people than me, and there's some gutsy, crazy people out there. So you just never know. Oh, it's new in the box, unfired. Okay. Um, I mean, if it's the right price, I mean, I wouldn't be scared of it. Because, like I said, PSA, they stand behind their products. They're American made and they have a lifetime warranty. So if it's a good price and it's something that you really want, I wouldn't be afraid to get it. Let's see here. What is the age of your oldest firearm? Do you have a CNR firearms license? CNR. I don't know what CNR is. I'm not familiar with CNR. I don't have an SOT or anything like that, if that's what you're asking. And also, okay, I think I know what you're asking. I do not have a, there is a reason I don't have the particular license I think you're asking me about. I don't know what is CNR. But when you have your FFL, and I could have an FFL really easily, but the reason I don't is because when you have that, certain people from letters of the alphabet are allowed to show up anytime they want. And that's a big no-no for me. So that is why I do not have an FFL license personally. I thought it was for any, but if it's brand new in the box, it probably hasn't been, like, how you go in and sign up for the ownership or whatever you want to call it, the registration. So if they require that, I don't even know if PSA does, honestly. Okay, go back to this. What is the age of your oldest firearm? I have a firearm from the German War. That was my grandfather's. I have a hex barrel single shot 38, and that is from 1903. I think that's what it is, 1903. I've got a bunch of 22s that are super old. I've got a punt gun, 12 gauge punt gun that is it's way over 100 years old. It was my great grandfather's, I believe. Yeah, my great grandfather's. And it works, but it's nothing that you would enjoy shooting. And it's called a punt gun, P-U-N-T gun. It's huge, very huge. It won't even fit in a safe, to be honest with you. I have an old 22 revolver. I don't know the date on it. The one rifle is a Mauser, 8mm, and it is a German Mauser, hence German. There's a reason I'm saying it that way. I've got a video on it that I did like 5 years ago, if you want to go back and look at it, and why I like it. Anyway, I've got a bunch of old ones. I just don't really show them or mess with them that much. That's air. I don't know, I think it's on 72 or something. And it's not on high, I don't think. Curio and Relic. Oh, Curio and Relic. Yeah, no, I don't have that. Sorry about that. I'm not familiar with that term, so no, I don't have that license. Oh, I don't hide anything. She knows what all I have. I had a bunch. I was a gun guy when she met me. We've been married 32 years. and dated for 5 before that. So no, she knows me. I don't hide anything. I buy what I want to buy when I want to buy it. Oh, POA has never fired. Scared to. I shoot all my old, or I've shot a bunch of this old stuff. I wouldn't go out and just like have a field day with it. The oldest pistol, I guess, I have my very, very, very first pistol also from it was built in 1986. It's my very first pistol, I guess that I could say was my first pistol. I guess I could say that because it is. I got it for high school graduation. It's a Smith & Wesson 439, and it was ordered with walnut combat grips, the blacked out, what do they used to call them? Blacked out, there's a name for it, I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool gun, and it's in perfect condition, and I've shot it a lot. Yep, it is. Souvenir Grandpappy brought home. He was a German pilot, or he was a pilot for the U.S. Air Force in the German War. So yes, he did personally bring it back from the field, and y'all know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it was actually in a John boat, or they called them flat bottom boats. Yeah, it would fit in some canoes, but not all. But yeah, that thing is. I'm 6'3", and it's taller than me. The sneak boat, yeah. They called them. They made them. It was weird. I've heard stories about these boats they made. They had like these metal John boats, but then they would make the punt gun boat out of old truck hoods. They would bend the hoods of these old pickup trucks that were made out of steel. They would bend them, and that's what a lot of them carried their punt guns in. And I'm like, what? But, if that thing ever flipped over, you lose your rifle. So I'm like, your shotgun. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, but pretty crazy. That is true, Rich B. Matter of fact, the first room they put me in, and it's a pretty nice hotel. The very first room they put me in, I guess they had remodeled it and they put new AC units in, and the damn AC didn't even work. It was a hot day on Monday when I got here. It was pretty warm, and the AC was stuck on 77. I couldn't turn it down, couldn't do anything with it, so they moved me to another room. They're remodeling a bunch of this hotel, so they probably out of the units that they purchased, they probably got some lemon ones, which doesn't surprise me. Browning SA-22. I hadn't seen one of those in a while. I've got. I enjoy old 22s. I've got quite a few of them. The 22 rifles, but the only bad thing is I mean, you can put scopes on them, of course, but on some of these you can't run red dots, so to say. I mean, I guess you could put a pick rail on some of them or have them retroed over, but it would mess up the value of them, because some of these are worth quite a bit of money. Some of these 22s. Oh, I even found it the other day. I found an antique Daisy BB gun that was my dad's, and I think it's from 1961 or 62, and it works. So it's kind of cool. It's got like a little round peep sight on the front of it. It's kind of got these different designs, and the damn thing looks like it's brand new. And I asked him, I'm like, was this yours? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I didn't know you had this. dovetailed red dot mount. Huh. I haven't seen very many of those if they're there. I just uninstalled Twitter. Daisy BB gun was the only channel worth of shit. Let's see here. Everything is moving. Yeah. I like EGW. I've used tons of EGW parts, and I've never had a problem with any of their parts. They're actually a great company. They've been around forever. I've used a lot of their 1911 parts. Their ignition kits, so to say, because I've changed a lot of like MIM stuff out of 1911s in some of these in the past. Had to do that to fix the SIG that SIG wouldn't fix properly. And I've done it I've got some EGW parts in my custom STI. Not that STI made any bad parts, I just upgraded it to a different ignition kit. They make great stuff. Never had a problem with EGW at all. And they make actually really good. They're actually underrated. But for your scopes, I have the EGW precision mounts. They have the standard ones and the precision where they take a bar stock. It's a chunk of bar stock, and they actually cut them and then they lap them. So both of your front and your rear mounts, they're actually a pair. So they're matched. They're not cheap, but it's a precision matched pair of scope rings. And they are their high-end ones, and EGW makes those as well. And I've got a set of those, and they're not the lowest line ones. They're the precision, and then the one that's right under that, I have a set of those as well. And I have them on guns, and they work really well. And when you put your scope in there, you can tell they're legit. Let's see here. What's up, Keith Kent? How are you? He said, Big J, in recent reply, you said you just replaced the comps when they get carboned up. Any brand your loyalty lies, or do you bounce around, try new companies? For comps, I really like Threat Cadre for staccatos. And then for like 22s, I really like Tandem Cross. I've never had any of their products go bad. And if you're just looking for a pretty basic comp, Harrington Arms makes really good comps as well. Theirs do work. They have them for Glock, CZ, P10s. They've got them for a bunch of different guns. But Harrington Arms makes really nice comps as well that I've actually truly tested. God, what is the one where it's okay, but it's not the best? They're for CZs. I've got about 3 or 4 of them. Primary Machine, that's the name of it. Primary Machine, they're okay. They're not that great. I think there's better options out there, but those are just to name a few. And by the time I'm talking about when they get really, really carboned up with like lead, if it's a 22 and stuff like that, that's when I just shit can them. But when they are like my Ramjet, it's really, I've shot it a ton and it's really doesn't even have shit in it. I mean, I take a little brush and kind of just knock off the big chunks, but I don't detail them or clean them or anything like that. Mostly I get more, I guess, copper or lead. Not copper. Lead fouling and stuff dominantly from the 22. Those I'll just shit can and get another one. And some people they'll unscrew them and they'll put them like in those little vibrating deals. You could try that too with like some simple green. I just don't know how well it would work. Harrington, new purchase, not shot yet. Carver for 1911. Yeah, it's called Harrington Arms. That's the name of the comp company. Like I said, I don't know if they make anything for 1911. Don't know that. Thanks, Rabbi. I appreciate you, brother. Have a great night. Just want to check here real quick. See if we have any updates. No up-to-date chat, but I'm going to flip this phone back on just in case. But, yeah, I tend to, I mean, some things I'll really, really clean, even as far as suppressors. I don't scrub them. I'll just try to take the gunk at them as much as I can. They seem to work pretty well. Thanks, Ranger. Take care, man. Have a great night. Yeah, and it's 8 o'clock, so if y'all have any more questions, I'll answer them real quick. But if not, we'll go ahead and shut this bad boy down. But yeah, as far as what you're going out and getting, I would just, like I said, I don't think anybody needs to start panic buying unless you don't have anything. I think, the people on here are pretty sorted out. I would just maybe focus on ammo if you need it. Maybe some mags if you need it. Sling, flashlight, batteries, things like that. Maybe holsters if you need those. Grips if you need those. Just things like that. I don't think I would start just panic buying anything. I would, and some people, I have it and I highly recommend it. Chest plates, things like that, if you think you would need it. I'm not trying to scare anybody. But I will say this. If you don't have a chest rig with plates in it, I'm not saying everybody has to have that. I would have just a throw over option that, and I've got them, I think they're called like light. They don't have plates. Matter of fact, you can't even put plates in them. I've shown it on some videos before, but you can just store mags in it. So I can put pistol mags in it. I've got 4 pistol mags and 4 AR mags, and it's super light. It just all compresses up. I can literally throw it over, clip the back, and boom, I've got 4 mags, 4 AR mags, and I can put AR-10 mags in it. Matter of fact, when I ordered it for AR-10 mags. So it'll fit AR-10 mags, AR-15 mags, 300 blackout, of course. And then I bought the extra options, and I put them on the side, so I've got 4 pistol mags as well. And the pistol mags will fit 19, it's all soft. So it'll fit 2011 mags, Glock, P10, whatever I want to put in it. So, but it's made by Blue Force Gear. It's not super cheap, but it's really, really light. I've got it in my go bag or my travel bag. When I travel, I have it, and it's loaded with mags in it already. And food. Yeah, definitely food. Questions. Have you shot an FN 545 in experience? Last question. No, I don't think I've shot no, I haven't shot the 545. I haven't shot the newer one. I had the FNX 45, the tactical and the non-tactical. So I've had both of those, but I haven't shot the 10 millimeter version or their new 45 version. I have not. Matter of fact, I don't even know if I've seen them. Yeah, in the stores. I'm looking at a generator, solar, or multi-fuel. They're slim pickings right now. Oh, of course, because a lot of that stuff's been sent over. Yeah, you always want to buy generators and stuff like that when you don't need them and there's no demand for them. That's when you want to buy them. You can get, I've seen some, where have I seen them? I saw some at Sam's. I just don't know the quality on them. I think they were at Sam's. I saw some, but again, I don't know how reputable they are. What their output is, I don't know any of that. I didn't look at any of the fine items you want to look at. There's a lot of them I can't shoot. They're small. Smaller guns, they don't work well. What's up, Bold and Curious? How are you, man? Hope you're doing well, sir. But yeah, it's generators. That is the thing. Nobody needs them until they need them. That's kind of the thing that's happened. That's even happened to me. I used to have two really, really, really nice generators, and they just sat there. They literally sat there. I just set them for winterizing, and they just were stacked on top of each other and literally sat there all the time. And then my wife was like, "Are you going to do something with these?" So a buddy of mine needed them, so I went ahead and sold them to him at a really good price. And then I ended up needing one when we had the freeze, and I didn't have one, so I bought another one, but it's not like a super, high end one or anything. Living a dream, divorce dream. What's Dave saying? Big J, this is America. Is it right for people to be intimidated not to vote for Trump due to possible riots? I mean, I don't worry about anything. I just do what I want to do. I mean, I wouldn't be intimidated. Is it right for people to be intimidated not to vote for Trump due to possible riots? I mean, you have your God-given right to do what you want to do. What's up, William? How are you, man? Yeah, I don't ever let people tell me what to do. I just do what I want to do. I mean, I can ask for opinions and things like that because, we're all in a community, but, I mean, some people run things really well and the proof is in the pudding, and some people don't run shit into the ground. So that's kind of what I do. I look at past records. Yeah, I've never gone along with the sheep or with the following, and so to say, like that. I mean, I'm a grown-ass man and, fairly educated and have a good head on my shoulders. And, even in business, I look at what's going on and then adjust accordingly or plan for what I want to do. And sometimes people say, you can't do that, supposedly. You know who I mean by you people or those people. They say you can't do this and you can't do that. And I do what I want anyway. So there you go. But yeah, I'm never intimidated by anybody. That's not me. Never have been, never will be. So I do what I want. Yep. Don't forget to pray. Yeah, because depending on how it comes out, it could be bad either way. So there you go. All right. Well, we will. Yeah, there you go. 3 men don't need permission. Exactly. Yeah, they don't pay my bills and they don't put food on my table, and I didn't ask for a lot of their opinions, so I don't care. But anyway, I think y'all know where I stand. So don't need to get on the soapbox by any means. But it is 8:09. We will go ahead and shut this bad boy down. I really appreciate y'all being on. Y'all are what makes this happen. If you do think about it, please, pray for my dad. Just make sure everything's good. I'm fixing to start checking on him and making sure he's all right. And from what I understand, he is. So it was just a scare. And that happens. But anyway, hope y'all are all well. And if you have people in your family that you haven't reached out to, or friends or something like that, please reach out. It never hurts to let them know you're thinking about them. So I appreciate y'all so much. Hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will be talking to you later. Thanks, everyone. Remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on always. Take care.